Good morning and welcome to Question and Obfuscation. I'm your host, Peter O'Brien. My guest this morning, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, has just returned from a successful fence-mending mission to Tokyo, where he was invited to address the plenary assembly of the Municipal Council of the city of Senjuku. The first time, he tells me, an Australian Prime Minister has ever been accorded this honour. And his gift to Prime Minister Takaichi, a beautiful hand-embroidered kangaroo scrotum coin purse, was apparently very well received. Good morning, Prime Minister, and welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on again, Pete.
Prime Minister, I know you've got a lot on your plate, so let's get right into it. May I start with the fact that the 2026 Closing the Gap report has just been released, and it makes sombre reading. In fact, we've gone backwards in 4 of the categories. Does your government accept any responsibility for this?
My government is the most accountable in Australia's history, Pete. If there's a stuff up, we'll step up, as we showed with the Bondi Royal Commission. But in order to solve a problem, the first step is to identify who caused it in the first place. That's a fundamental rule of politics. I mean, that's good governance.
Well, who caused this one?
The previous government, of course, must share most of the blame. They had years to fix this crisis and they did nothing.
But you've been in government for over 4 years.
Exactly my point, Peter. It shows just how bad the situation was allowed to become by the previous government. Despite all our efforts, we're only now just starting to move the dial. I'm confident that by the end of my 4th or even 5th term as PM, no Aboriginal child will be living in poverty. But to be fair, it's not just the previous government that's to blame.
Who else then?
Well, One Nation voters mainly, and far-right extremists like Peter Dutton and Jacinda Nambijimba Price. They must also bear some responsibility.
How so?
Look, Pete, this is very important. With The Voice, I represented them with a golden opportunity to heal the divide and give First Nations people the power to take their future into their own hands. If the far-right haters hadn't corrupted the process with their misinformation, First Nations people would already be on an upward trajectory. It was the first thing I committed to as Prime Minister.
Let's go back to that heady time.
The Japanese Prime Minister brought a melon.
How did he get that through customs?
It's a royal melon.
Oh, she smuggled. It was a she. Did she smuggle it?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm expecting.
Got a couple of melons.
She brought 2.
She brought 2, as you do.
She just came in looking like Pamela Anderson.
She brought 2.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, that wasn't the footage I was after. Okay, here we go now.
I begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet. I pay my respect to their elders, past, present and emerging, and on behalf of the Australian Labor Party, I commit to the Uluru Statement from the Heart in full.
You were clearly very emotional.
Yeah, was I? What makes you say that?
Mainly the quivering lip.
Oh, yeah, the quivering lip. Look, I use it to great effect, only when necessary, of course. It's very sparingly. It conveys my natural empathy better than mere words can. It's a skill I've been honing since the days I was brought up in public housing by my single mum. It's a defence mechanism, if you like.
Would you see that as your finest moment as Prime Minister? Prime Minister?
Oh, yes. What? No. That would be, let me see now. Oh, yeah, recognising Palestine. No, that wouldn't be. No, it would be announcing the Bondi Royal Commission in record time. No other government has done that.
Would you regard the rejection of the Voice referendum as your government's biggest failure?
Look, that wasn't the government's failing. That was a failing by the voters who brushed away a hand outstretched in friendship.
Nonetheless, your referendum failed.
Yeah, it wasn't my referendum. I'm not Indigenous. I let it belong to our First Nations cousins, you see.
You spent $450 million on it.
Yeah, but that was an investment in social cohesion. It signalled to our First Nations voters, our fellow Australian citizens, that there's nothing a Labor government won't do for them. That's equity. That's inclusion. That's important.
Tony Abbott used to spend weeks every year visiting and working in remote Aboriginal communities. How much time have you spent there?
Look, Tony's heart is in the right place, but that kind of performative politics doesn't get kids into school or adults into jobs. It's just grandstanding. What those communities actually need is a hard-headed, pragmatic government, but empathetic too, prepared to deliver on practical measures that will get results, like truth-telling and treaty, and flying 3 flags, which we've already implemented in record time. The first Australian government to do it. And that's very, very important.
Last year at Garma, you committed to attending the festival every year that you were Prime Minister. And yet you didn't make it this year. What happened to that commitment?
Look, Pete, that wasn't a commitment. That was an aspiration, mate.
And I commit here that every single year that I have the great honour to be Australia's Prime Minister, I will be here and engaged with you, because this is a journey that has a long way to go.
All right, yes, that was a commitment, but it wasn't a firm commitment. No Prime Minister can guarantee where he will be in a year's time. That would be irresponsible. Look, I was there in spirit though. First Nations people understand that. They're very spiritual. They're the most spiritual people on earth. That's because their civilization goes back 60,000 years. The Yolngu people have given me a name, Bilko, which means the spirit who talks. Not to be confused with the sergeant from the Phil Silvers show, though he too is very talkative, like my spirit.
But in this case, it wasn't a matter of state that kept you away, but a vacation.
Oh, look, Pete, I haven't had a day off all year. I'm bloody knackered. Besides, I owed it to Jodie, and to the Australian people. They don't need a Prime Minister who's not up to the job.
Now that's something we can agree on. Prime Minister, we've run out of time, so please let me thank you for appearing on Question and Obfuscation.
Oh, it's always an immense pleasure, Peter.